afternoon, everybody.
Hi.
We're Those Weirdos, and this is our third van chat, which we try and do weekly. We've got a few questions that have been asked over the last couple of van chats, so we'll answer those later. Obviously, everything's in a bit of a state of fluidity at the moment, with lots of people stuck in different countries, lockdowns all over the place. England's a little bit behind everyone else, so we'll cover that off later, where we are, why we're here, how we got here. But suffice to say, we've been stuck in England for 2 weeks, haven't we?
Yep, we were supposed to be here for a week. The idea was to shoot in on, I think we arrived on Friday, and we were going to spend 1 week doing laundry and upgrades to the van and stuff like that, run our club. Had to take 2 days to recover because it's a long old business doing the club, and then we were going to shoot back off on Monday, just gone, which means that today we would have been on a Spanish beach down in Andalusia,
Yeah.
and instead of that we're still in the UK.
So worth pointing out, because I'm not sure if we've mentioned it before, but our primary income stream is we run events, which we do every 8-10 weeks, and those have had to be cancelled due to COVID-19, so we're a little bit concerned about our income.
Yep.
We've got a small amount of savings, but not a lot to last us for very long. So we have been considering, as we're full-time in the van, whether we should travel part of England, whether that would be responsible or irresponsible in light of the current impending lockdowns and the closure of bars, clubs and pubs, etc. here. But equally, we're currently staying on my mum's drive, so we've been trying to keep busy by doing lots of jobs on the van. So what have we done?
We've got loads done. For a start, we got every single thing that you could launder, we've laundered. I've done everything, all the curtains, all the bedding, all the blankets, all the dog blankets, all the coats and the hats, so that was fun.
Were you excited by that, weren't you?
Yeah, love a bit of laundry.
Ooh, bit of laundry. And one of our biggest jobs, which we planned to do anyway in the week that we were going to be here, was when we built the van, we did a lot of research and we decided to use a composting toilet, as we felt was more environmentally friendly and easier to empty than a porta potty or a cassette style toilet. We covered off a lot of information about that in a video that we did with Gadget John, where we talked about all the different types of toilets that you can have in a camper van and a van. But long story short, we fitted a Simplu when we built the van, and we thought it was great when we put it in. It was a bit plasticky and a bit flimsy, but having lived in the van for full time for 9 months, the thing basically was starting to fall apart. The separator was split, the hinges on the back would no longer tighten and were all baggy, so the door or the toilet lid was at an angle.
It had other issues too that weren't related to wear so much, such as the pot for your number ones. It when it was full and you'd put the lid on, you had to lift it and then tilt it and then lift it out, all with just one wrist, because you couldn't get your arms in there, so that wasn't very helpful. There was no handle or anything. And the lid of the box had lots and lots of little divots all the way around the outside, which then you couldn't clean, not unless you had a jet wash in there. So it wasn't ideal, really.
No, it's all things that you don't know until you've lived full time. So anyway, cut long story short again, we've taken that out. And we've got what is now being called online by quite a lot of people the glitter shitter, because we decided to get a Strumpet and Trollop, and yes, that is a real company. We'll put a link to them in the description below. But Strumpet and Trollop make a very rigid, I suppose it's a high-end wooden based toilet. You can order it fully built to your own spec and colours. But we decided to buy it flat packed because Rosie wanted to choose the colour scheme herself. So a few days ago we built that. We shot a video of the time lapse of the spraying, but it's basically glittery pink, as I'll show you here, with a silver glitter toilet seat, and it is very glittery. But so far, I mean, the build, it's rock solid. It's made of marine birch ply, which is exceptionally strong and waterproof. We've sealed it inside and outside with varnish that was glitter spray, so that added to even more glitter to it. And it's great so far. The things that Missy just mentioned. So the wee pot is much easier to get out. It's shaped for the box and it has a really strong handle, so you can carry it like a suitcase.
Yep.
And the poo box again is square but rounded, but with no divots or anything like that, which really, when you've got a box that you're going number 2s in every day with several of you doing so, you really don't want something that's difficult to clean. You want something that's easy to clean.
Well, I tell you another advantage to it. The Simplu had a really tiny hole in the urine side of the separator, which meant that it filled up faster than it could pour the liquid through, and then there was a little gap between the top of the separator and the bottle, whereas on the Strumpet and Trollop it's really nice. There's a huge hole, it's really cleverly built, there's loads of space so that everything just pours straight through with no opportunity for spilling or splashing, and the neck of the separator fits inside the neck of the bottle, so there's no spillage. It's awesome.
And actually I've had a few questions online, I think 3 or 4 of the same question, which is from people considering the pros and cons of a composting toilet. Excuse Morph, who's having a moan because he'd like to eat something.
Morph, come here.
Come on Morph, up you come.
Buddy.
Is a lot of people, and it's something I've taken for granted because we've used one for 9 months, but a lot of people don't actually know the principle of how a composting toilet works and whether it does or doesn't compost. But essentially you've got a separator, so both boys and girls sit down, and then your wee is separated into the front, and your number 2s or your poo go into a box in the back. And it's primarily that separation that stops any smells or odour, because you don't get the bacterial reaction between the number 1s and number 2s. So that was a question that somebody asked. Somebody else asked, do we put anything else in the box? And yes we do. We use pine thick pet sawdust because it has a nice smell. And somebody asked, well surely if you're using it every day all day long and you're not in a farming homestead environment, it can't actually compost, and that's very true, it can't. But by not mixing it you don't get the smell, and it's very easy, in fact easier, having discussed it with other vanners and camper van owners, it seems to be a lot easier to empty, because you don't have to go to a dedicated chemical emptying point to do so. So that's all in, finished. We're very pleased with it, aren't we? And then while we were spraying the toilet, we decided that we would, in line with our submarine Moroccan themed kind of crazy colour scheme of the sub, that we would take off the Mercedes-Benz logo from the front of the van, and we've sprayed that glitter pink as well, haven't we?
Glitter pink.
Glitter pink.
Awesome.
Yeah, just to make us even more less stealthy than we were before.
Clunkiness. I made a new window cover for our sliding door, the big window on that. I'd made one before, but it was literally, I think it was the day before Camp Quirky last year, and I grabbed a bit of the silver bubble wrap that we used for some of our insulation, and I chucked some gaffer tabs around the outside to hold magnets on, and it looked really scruffy. So this is our new one. I did it by cutting 2 pieces of the silver bubble wrap that you can get anywhere for insulation. You can get it from B&Q, places like that. And I put a layer of fabric over the top, also very funky, and then it's just got gaffer tape holding all 3 edges together. I spray glued the fabric onto the bubble wrap, and then I put the magnets on top of the gaffer edging and put another gaffer edge over the top, but I did it really neatly, and as you can see it looks very pretty and it does the job, and it's primarily for keeping the heat in, but also it would reflect the sunlight as well in the summer. We might put it up on a really hot sunny day.
You've got a nice funky cover on the front, haven't you, and the reflecting silver on the back, so sun stays out, heat stays in when it's cool, doesn't it? Looks really swanky as well, I like it. And then a few other small jobs that we've done. Missy started adding a bit more decoration to the van. You collected some sea glass, didn't you?
Yep. Gluing sea glass up.
Yeah.
Shells and stuff. We've just been trying to keep busy really, because we're sitting around at a house, Dom's mum's house, and I don't really want to sit around all day. I've got no work to do because I can't run my club. So yeah, trying to find odds and ends to do.
Yeah, I've been trying to work lots too. I own a shop in the UK, and that's been quite scary because business has dropped off radically for obvious reasons. Obviously, most of the population are a little bit worried, so that kind of leaves us on to where are we, why are we here, COVID-19 and all that, and all the stuff that's going online. I've got lots of friends that have been stuck in various different places. I guess arguably if you're stuck on a beach in Portugal, you could say that's quite a nice place to get stuck.
Yep.
But equally we know 2 or 3 different people that are in Morocco, some who've decided to stay despite the lockdown, but others that have had a nightmare getting back to wherever they needed to get back to. We've seen people all over social media saying they're stuck in various different countries trying to get back to their own country. So we'd left just on the cusp, so it was really the week before people had started to become aware of COVID-19 and possible implications.
Yeah, we weren't overly worried. We weren't coming back because of that. We were coming back literally. We always come back a few days to a week before a club so that we have time to do any work on the van that we need to do, and paperwork that I need to do, and I get printing and get supplies in for the club and so on. So we were coming back for that, and it was just in the news, and we weren't too worried because at that point we were doing the same as other people at the time, going, oh well, sounds like it's, you know, just another version of the flu, it's fine. And obviously it's not.
And even up to midway through last week, when things were starting to get a little bit more concerning, France was still pretty much open, so we were saying, well, we'll just head off back to France, stay there till the borders open up.
Yeah.
And then obviously since then, France, Spain, Portugal are pretty much on lockdown in varying degrees, from slight lockdowns to complete no travel for anyone. England's probably a week behind, so as of yesterday, for those of you that are not in England or aren't aware, pubs, clubs, etc. all closed now. Schools closed yesterday, so all schools, all kind of public meetings of that kind of sort, all locked down. People are also saying, you know, avoid travelling in the UK, which I've raised quite a few times in different places on Facebook, saying obviously we're full time, so people are saying stay at home or go home. We obviously don't have a home because our van is our home, being full time. So I've been grappling with, you know, should I stay on my mum's drive, which again I've seen other people saying they've had problems with the local council, saying they can't do that. I know technically that is against planning regulations. Seems a little bit crazy to not let people stay on relatives' drives or whatever. Other people have said, you know, you're English, you've paid your tax for your vehicle, it's all insured and legal, so drive around and maintain sensible distancing, which is kind of where I'm gearing up. But equally, I saw a letter today for Wales, which was a formal government letter basically saying don't go to Wales, because the NHS in Wales obviously is aware of the size of its population, and they don't want to have to deal with tourists, as they call us, even though we don't consider ourselves tourists. So I'm not really sure what our short-term or mid-term plans are. Hopefully things will ease up and then we can at least travel around the UK or hopefully get back to Europe, but I think it's not looking good, is it?
No, it would be nice to be in the wilderness somewhere. We were hoping just to go to a hillside in Wales. When France and Spain went off the table, we thought, yeah, Wales, maybe Scotland, but then with a drastically reduced income, we can't afford the diesel to go all the way up to Scotland and then all the way back again should we be needed down here. So I think we're kind of stuck, really.
Yeah, so I suppose the upside is by the time we can get travelling again, the van will have every job it needed doing and be done, and it'll be nice and clean.
Okay, right. No, don't do laps.
Show the camera as well.
Right, okay. Take 3. One of the other jobs that we got the giggles now.
Yeah. Interruptus catus.
No. One of the other jobs that we were planning to do this year, but not this time round, was to put in a skylight above our bed, because when we were travelling last summer it got really, really hot and sweaty in the van. And we've got a little vent in the ceiling, we've got another vent in the toilet, and we've got max fan which we had up on high, and it's still got stuffy. So we're going to put a skylight in that goes all the way above both of us. And we thought it'd be nice to be able to look out the stars and then crack it open a little bit and have a mozzie net on there too, so that we get a nice breeze. But if we're going to be sitting around stuck here, we might as well fit it now. So we'll order that online, and then we can make a video about chopping an enormous hole in the roof of our van.
Could that be scary?
That always goes really well.
Yep.
We've never chopped the wrong bit of the van while cutting through the ceiling, have we?
Not quite. We nearly did on the window. It had a little bit of a nick, but we covered it over when we stuck the window on.
You don't remember the time we actually chopped the wrong bit of the ceiling then?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to keep quiet about that. When I took it, it was about this big, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About that big.
Yep.
And I had to kind of seek a flex.
Yeah.
The bit that I'd cut off.
Yeah, we were trying to put the vent in the bathroom, and we cut in the wrong place because we forgot that it had struts across, so we started cutting and couldn't cut through the strut.
No.
It's alright, it's fine, it doesn't leak.
How are we going to know where the struts are in the roof?
You know, kind of going...
Yeah, and all the wiring as well?
No, there's no wiring there.
Okay.
Oh. No. I don't think there's wiring there.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see, eh?
Yeah.
We'll just get the jigsaw out.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's only a small hole. What is it, like 2.5 foot by 1.5 foot or something?
Yeah, something like
Skylight's
that.
a big
Little
one.
one.
Little hole. Yeah, great.
We drilled through our solar panel wires while we were fitting the van out as well.
Yeah.
That was alright, we just stuck a bit of gaffer tape on it. It's fine.
So, I guess we're waiting to see how COVID unfolds. It's obviously a little bit concerning now.
Yep. Yeah, and we've got family all spread out as well.
Yeah.
Got people all over the place. And my dad lives in Holland, so if he were to get ill, I can't go visit him, which is worrying.
And there's all kinds of financial worries for not just other people, but for family as well.
Yep.
So it's all a bit stressful, really. You know, and to start with, people saying, oh, you know, a couple of weeks of distancing or isolation, it'll all be back to normal, but I just can't see that. I think it's going to be months and months, and there's no point in speculating.
But we are really lucky because we're all hale and healthy. Nothing wrong with any of us. We're cracking on. We're keeping. Oh!
What did you say? We're all hale and healthy.
Hale and healthy, yeah.
What does that mean?
Hale means strong
like
and
Viking.
well and.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week with another video to update you on where we are.
I'll tell you how we got on with the pulling apart of the bed. We'll try and film as much of that as we can, and whether we actually get around to fitting Skylight, because it sounds good, but I've put myself off now. It sounds a bit scary. And yeah, stay well, stay healthy, stay connected, but not too close. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.